Life is incredibly boring. And I just find life boring almost all the time. I look at other people's lives and I think they're boring. I look at my neighbors going out to get their mail, mowing the lawn, walking their dog. And I think, God, that is so boring. This is so boring. Like, what does life even become? You know, you go to work, and then everything costs an arm and a leg for some freaking reason. Everything has a fee now, or a subscription service. So you have to work a certain amount of hours per week. But even besides that, it's not work. I'm not some little dork that wants to complain about work, okay? Work would be fine if there was fun to justify work. And yet here I am, in every place in the US I've been. It's just so freaking boring all the time. I mean, maybe before phones, like, I'll put it this way. Before social media and phones, things seemed to be more fun, open, social. And you know what, though? Like, if you go to the bar, you go to the club, it's boring. It's boring. This is what I'm working all week to do, to go to a bar. You ever go to a bar without a friend or without drinking? This place sucks. There's nothing to do. What do I play pool? I'm going to play pool and throw darts? Are people really doing this? People are really throwing darts? What? They just all seem like NPCs to me. And the neighbor that walks their dog every day, every single day, and doesn't give a doesn't care about doing that every day. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. You seem like an NPC. Like I could just, if I followed you for long enough, I'd watch them like walk into a wall and glitch out of existence. Like they're just like the NPC in the Matrix server or something. How do people do this crap every day, bro? What are we doing? Maybe it's just my ADHD. Because ADHD makes everything seem less fun. You need more stimulus to be even at a baseline level. But it's just like everything is so political now. Like, I can't even go in my city because I don't have the exact same political views as they do, and they treat me like an outsider. So, but then somebody in the city, they can't go to the suburbs because they'll feel like they're an outsider. Why is it so divided? Who cares, man? I don't care about anybody's politics, dog. But people will treat you like you're like a crazy person for not agreeing with whatever they say. But that's besides the point. Let's get back to the point. Life in America is mega boring, dude. Everything feels like it's a corporation everywhere. Meaning, like, there aren't many unique things if you want to go exploring. There aren't unique things to go find. Like, I could go across the country and there will be the same chains everywhere that are everywhere in my own state. It's like, woo, whoop-de-doo, I found another McDonald's. Whoa, this one's a little different. Not even the McDonald's are even the slightest bit different. They're all the same. I feel like everywhere I look, it's all a big corporation. It's like the corporations have become so big that they're just like part of the environment. Like seeing a Walmart is the same thing as like seeing a hill that's always been there. It's just the Walmart. It's part of the environment. It's like baked in. It's just like, yeah, of course there's going to be a Walmart there. But even if I find a fast food restaurant that's a different chain, I go across the country, oh, whoa, this is a different chain. Guess what? It's the same thing. It's all fried chicken. It's all a hamburger. Oh, this one's different because we have our secret sauce. The secret sauce is all made with soybean oil and the same stuff. Okay, maybe a couple spices are different. The burger then tastes the same. Oh, we put some pickles on ours. Oh, we put a banana pepper on our burger. This one's different. It's all the same, bro. All these fast food restaurants taste the same. Even the chain upper level restaurants kind of taste the same. Cheesecake Factories kind of just taste mid. Red Robin's still a burger. A burger's a burger's a burger, dude. I want to try some real different stuff. And I know what some of you guys are going to say. Well, there are still, unique restaurants you can find. Still boring. You know why? Because I've already seen them all on social media. Dude, I've consumed so much content on social media that nothing is interesting at all to me anymore. I feel like I've seen it all. And that is a very bland life. Hopefully, I'll stop social media someday, and then I'll just forget everything. And then anything I come across when I'm exploring the world, it will be like, oh, what's this? Even though I saw it like 20 years ago on Instagram, on a reel or something. Nothing's crazy anymore. Everything's safe. There's no adventure. It's not like if I want to go skydiving, there are going to be state regulations. You can only skydive here. You aren't going to find some dude that's smoking a pack of cigarettes when you're walking by that goes, hey, you want to go skydiving? And then you're going to be like, huh? And then you're like, yeah, I guess. What's that? Oh, yeah, this is old Betty. It's my plane from 1946. What happened to the adventures, man? Everything's so regulated that it's boring now. Even if I'm rich, what am I going to do? What am I going to do if I'm rich? I'm going to buy a yacht? Going to buy a yacht and deal with all the regulations? Oh, you can't go in this area. You can't. Listen, this might seem like a foreign concept to some people, whatever I'm talking about. And it is. Okay? I might be crazy. But I feel like the only answer to get that adventure that you crave is to leave the country. Like when I was in Mexico, it was a lot more adventurous, okay? First of all, they didn't have cellular in Mexico. Okay, they did, but I couldn't figure out how to get the SIM to work, so I didn't have cellular. Even if you do get the cellular, though, the cellular in the part of Mexico I was at is like 3G, okay? So you're not going to be looking up stuff very quickly. Okay, it's going to take a while to load. Most people don't want to deal with it, so they don't use their phones that much. Everything is just convergent. It's all streamlined into your smartphone in America. Oh, you want to pay your parking, you want to pay for your parking, download this app. Everything's through an app now. What's the fun in that? I mean, it's convenient, but it also makes me just spend my whole day staring at my phone because I need to use my phone to do anything, which gives me no memories of my day, because the only way I remember my day is if I do something interesting or different. My brain doesn't remember me taking out a coin and putting in the machine, and then the machine was jammed, or, some weird quirk of the day. My brain just remembers me looking at my phone, it's scanning my Face ID, and me Apple Paying like I do like 50 times a day, and my brain probably just smooths over it because it's not interesting. There's nothing different. What I'm saying is we're becoming like cyborgs. Everything's through your phone. But yeah, life's boring. I mean, I don't like... I just think, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? What's my ideal life? Well, my ideal life would be, all right, I work 3 days a week, maybe 12-hour shifts, I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna get made fun of this. I'm gonna get made fun of for this, but you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna be real, all right? My ideal life is to work 3 days a week, and then for those other 4 days, I go on a road trip or something. Or I just explore. But guess what? You go on a road trip and it's the same thing. I wonder if part of this boredom is because social media is like a better version of life. And when you spend too much time on social media, you're only seeing the better version of life. In fact, you could call it the hyperreality. It's the reality, but it's better, it's faster, and you don't even need to move. You don't need to put in any effort to get all the benefit and reward that whatever person is recording that social media experience is receiving. So I can look up a travel YouTuber on YouTube and I can live vicariously through them. And I will trick my brain into thinking, well, that's what traveling is like. And your brain actually starts to believe that vicarious living that you're experiencing through social media is the real living. But here is the kicker. It is not the real living. Real living has 5 senses. Okay, sight, sound, taste, smell, and touch. I laughed because I thought I was going to forget for a second. When you are on social media or looking at a screen, you're only experiencing all this life vicariously through your ears and through your eyes. You're not getting touch, smell, or taste. And guess what? If you're experiencing it through your eyes, through a screen, that's actually through a camera's eye, which is just the sensor, and that's way less impressive and amazing than your actual eye's definition. And you could argue that sound is not as high fidelity. Sound is arguably the closest thing that we have replicated. So, the point is, you might trick your brain into thinking after a while that that's all life has to offer, But it's not, because you didn't live those experiences yourself. And if you did, you would actually experience it. Actually experiencing something and watching a video of something are very different, but it's so easy to trick your brain into thinking that's the same thing. You know what I mean? And once you trick your brain into thinking that it's the same thing, you're going to get depressed. Because you will think, this is everything you can do in life, and yet it's not all that great. But it's not all that great because you're not actually living it. You've just tricked yourself into thinking that you've lived it. So that might explain why I feel this way. But another thing that might explain why I feel this way is that I'm actually right. Listen, smartphones have made it so that you don't get anyone's full attention anymore. You feel like a jerk. You feel like a jerk for wanting to have someone's full attention. You don't get someone's full attention anymore. That's something that people used to give out pretty much freely. If you're at a bar, you meet some person, they're going to give you full attention and you'll give them full attention. Right? There's no other person distracting them or calling them or texting them or sending them Snapchat or whatever. That's all the only person you're talking to, or your group of friends. Now I see people hanging out and they're hanging out with one phone in their hand, and I'm guilty of this, but only because it's become the norm and I feel like I don't even fit in if I don't. But everybody's got a phone in their hand. They're talking to many people at once. Nobody's present in the moment anymore. But life is boring in America because everything is, you go to a bar, you try to talk to a girl, and you're a creep. I haven't even tried to talk to a girl in about 3 years. About 3 years I haven't tried to talk to a girl that I didn't know. They would have to make it pretty obvious for me to feel safe talking to them. They'd have to sit next to me or say something to me, and then I start a conversation. Actually going up to a stranger that wasn't even just chilling in the same space, and then someone on the street and talking to them, I think the last time I did that I was probably 15. I'm 25 now. But what I'm saying is, listen, I see all modern life has to offer, and I'm just not interested. I'm not interested in the American way of life right now. I hope it changes. I hope I can be happy with this. Being in a suburban house and not even speaking to my neighbor for 10 years sounds great. Yeah, I'll settle in. But as for now, I can't stand it. Not knowing it drives me nuts. Not knowing who my neighbor is. And I know people are going to say, well, talk to your neighbor then. I know. But the truth is, I'm too much of a coward to talk to my neighbor. I don't even know who they are. I know who they are, kind of, but I don't know who my neighbors are. There are some neighbors that are close to me that I've never even feel like I'm barely even seen. I guess what I want is a community, Tired of online communities being the kind of the thing that you use to cope, It's it's not the real thing. It's not the real thing as a real community, I've never been happier than when I was in college living with a bunch of roommates all around me. Because it was a community. That being said, have you ever read a book? Have you ever read like Lewis and Clark? Or read about Lewis and Clark? Dude, what are we doing this day and age? We have nothing to do. We have nothing to do. Specifically, what do men have to do? Men play video games all day. And it makes sense. Because that's what we want to do deep down. We want to go build an encampment and go to tribal warfare against our neighboring tribe. But we can't. We live in this dystopian, weird reality where everything's sanitized and clean and boring. You know, do you know any men play games where it just emulates what most men want to do anyways, but can't? Like, so many women are like, ew, why do men play video games? It's because there's nothing better to do. Like, video games are like the last thing that you can do left where you're socializing and you're doing something with a team or a tribe of your buddies and you have a common goal. You're going on an adventure. Yeah, we all know it's fake. But what else is there like it that's similar? I don't even play video games, and I haven't for like 2 years. But I'm about to get back into video games because I'm so bored. But back to Lewis and Clark. People used to cross the ocean. Bro, people used to cross the ocean to go find unexplored land that no one's ever seen before. And in my generation, I go to my job and I go home. I mean, I guess I can go to a park. Everyone's been there, though. I'm not doing anything interesting. You know, they used to go on expeditions, and they'd take a boat down a river, and they'd meet a random tribeswoman who would become their wife. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Sacagawea? Wait, no. Is that Sacagawea? Pocahontas? Anyways. You know what I want to do? I want to go find a tribe in the Amazon. And I want to go live there. I would probably hate it. But after like 3 months, I would probably be more happy than I'd ever been. Going hunting, climbing trees, doing whatever the F they do. Yeah, there would be drawbacks, but I think something deep within my soul would be satisfied. Because I think deep down a lot of men are just longing, and women too maybe, for a more natural way of life. That doesn't feel like they're just a cog in a machine. But yeah, people used to... you know what it is? Life used to feel like it was... I'm guessing that life used to feel like it was summer camp. You know, when you go to war against the other cabins, you start a prank war. Oh man, summer camp was the best. That's the thing. Dude, even summer camp is so far from what life is as an adult today. It makes you think, dang, summer camp was kind of what life was supposed to be like. And some of you guys are going to be like, no, you're saying that activities and eating cookies and toasting marshmallows is what life's supposed to be like? You're just a dumb Gen Z. That's not what I mean. What I mean is there are no phones in my summer camp, okay? You just were doing stuff all day. But you also had objectives, and you also had tribal warfare between other cabins. And occasionally you would see a woman. Now, I went to an all-boys summer camp. So when you saw a woman, after a week of not seeing any woman ever, you were like, whoa, look at this mythical creature. But yeah, life in America is boring. And sorry to say, I know it is. I know it's boring. You guys might think I'm not getting enough, doing enough activities or whatever. I am. I have hobbies. I go rock climbing. I do a lot of different stuff, honestly. But when I was in Mexico, life was a lot more interesting. Okay, there were side quests every day. One time, I was just swimming one day in the ocean. I met this guy who just got here. He just got there the same day, and he's just swimming in the waves. This guy's like 27. I was like 24 or 23. And then we became friends, right? He's like, yo, you want a day drink? I'm like, sure, you got nothing else to do. So I found a coconut, and we used the coconuts to make a dope drink. We bought some Captain Morgan's from the gas station, mixed it with coconut juice. And I had opened the coconut with my key. And then we found this guy that had been in there. He was this expat that his visa definitely ran out, and he had been there, just living there for no freaking reason, for like the last 8 years. And this guy told us all these stories as I day drank a coconut that I found. I also used to go spearfishing every day in Mexico. That was always fun. I mean, here's what I miss. I miss like doing something that felt like instinctual. Spearfishing was awesome. Get my gear, put on my back, put it in put all my stuff in, I think it was like a bucket or something. I put it on my moped and I drive down the beach. Now, I didn't use my phone at all in Mexico, for the most part, because I didn't have cellular, so what was the point? Also, it might get stolen. So I just take my stuff, I walk down the beach, and then go right in the ocean, and I spend 3 hours every day in this underwater subnautical world with sea urchins and creatures everywhere, big fish, rainbow fish, angel fish. Beautiful. And that was so fun. So no, not everything bores me, but the things available to do are so regulated that it's just like you can't be a crazy person anymore. I just want to be a crazy person. I want to be crazy. I want to be some nut job that has no car and walks around all over and lives on freaking cat food. I would rather do that than go to a 9 to 5. at my age, or some job and pay the bills and walk the dog. I'd rather be some unhinged lunatic who has a crazy story to tell. You can't be crazy anymore. You can't be like a lumberjack expeditioner who wanders around the woods and gets into fights with bears or something. I don't really want to do that, but you know what I mean. Like, everything's so regulated that it's like you need a license to do this, you need a license to do that. I can't even go fishing without a license, which I know, some people will say, well, that's good because it funds the parks and whatever. Okay, yeah, but like I pay taxes to exist. Like, you can't even, bro, do you know how many states you can't even live off the grid? I get all my own stuff. All of it. I own my own land, and I can't live off my own land in many states because the state doesn't want me to not pay them. I can't get a solar panel. I can't collect rainwater. I can't do this, can't do that. That's bad for the environment, blah, 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 blah. Then meanwhile, while that's bad for the environment, those same people making the rules are moving across the world every day in a jet. And they're fine with Chinese, ships or any ship, running on crude oil. That's terrible for the environment. They don't give a crap about them. But you, if you want to collect rainwater, suddenly, apparently, you're evil. One time I got, in trouble with the Mexican police. I accidentally was driving on the wrong way in the road because it was very dark and my lights had gone out. And I was trying to fix it the next day, but, I drove the wrong way on an empty road on the rightmost side. So just in case any car came, there's plenty of space. It's a huge one-way road. I drive for about 50 feet and then the Mexican police pull me over. I go in the back of the car and they took my phone and everything, so I didn't know how to talk to them. And then they took me to a bank and then they told me to withdraw $180, I think. And then I gave it to them and then they gave me my stuff back and dropped me off. So I had to go, track down where I thought my bike might be. And that was a fun night. I spent like 3 hours walking back trying to figure out where my bike was at like 2:00 in the morning in a Mexican village. That is fun. That's an adventure right there. Do you know what I mean? That's not going to happen to me here. How about another time? I got invited to I was dating this girl in Mexico, and she invited me to her niece's quinceañera or something. So I go to the quinceañera. It was freaking cool, man. I met all of her family and stuff, and I was wearing this Mexican hat. They were giving me mezcal shots, just this dirty tequila, mezcal. Tastes kind of smoky. So, did that. And then I had to walk home from her house. Their home was like, it was like one big room, about maybe 10 feet by 10 feet. One big room, little corner with a bathroom of cold water. So I didn't like hang out at her house, but she lived with her mom at the time, or her aunt, I don't remember. So anyways, she was a lawyer. But I remember it was like 2:00 in the morning, walking back to my hotel, and there was this other guy that was also walking back. And And I just remember hearing this ambience of a mariachi band in the distance. And it was just the dopest vibe ever, man. It was like freaking palm trees everywhere, mariachi band, roosters, crowing. I'm like, where the heck am I? I walk up to this guy. I'm like, where are you coming from? He's like, oh, he's like this German guy. Oh, I was just coming back from my girlfriend's house. I was like, oh, me too, man. And then we became friends. Still know him on Instagram. We had a great talk, He's a funny dude. So yes, I'm bored. I want to do something. Life's a little boring. I feel like even if you have money in America, life's boring. Because like I've said many times, America's very regulated. And it's just like, it's almost like fun's not allowed. You know what I mean? They're like, no fun. You can't do that. You got to pay us. It's like, you want to do this? You got to pay us. You want to go fishing? You got to pay us. You want to go camping? You got to pay us. Everything's so damn expensive. Camping shouldn't be expensive. You're literally setting up your own home. Why do I have to pay to go camping? What the heck? I'm literally bringing my own house. Why am I paying you? So anyways, my ideal life is I want to go to at least for a little bit, to get over this boredom. I want to go to South America, and I want to just ride around on a bicycle and stay at whatever hotel is closest and explore. Because you know what? In those countries, they don't have regulations. Mexico's sick, man. I'm not talking about Mexico specifically, but all those countries are pretty sick. You can just, by the way, they're not as developed as America. Okay, let's get that out of the way. But, you can pretty much just do anything you want. And don't think I'm talking about some nefarious thing like stealing or something. What I'm saying is you can do any innocent thing you want. Oh, you want to go fishing? You can just go fishing. Oh, you want to get a boat? Just buy a boat off Facebook Marketplace and go. You don't need a license. Oh, you want to get a moped? You just buy the damn moped. That's your moped now. I bought a moped on Facebook Marketplace within 3 days of being there. They gave me the papers, and that was it. Give me the moped, give me the papers, I give you the money. Dude looked like he was from the cartel or something. You want to start a business? Find a local who wants to sell you a fruit stand, and you can have your own fruit stand. You don't need any paperwork or anything. You can start selling stuff right there. Pretty chill. Like the amount that things are regulated, it's like you feel like you're walking on eggshells everywhere in the US. You gotta Google everything you do to make sure you're not infringing on some law. I want to go magnet fishing the other day. I wanted to buy a magnet fishing kit, which is on Amazon. And if you don't know what it is, it's a big magnet attached to a rope, and you throw it in some body of water, and you see what you get. You know what I mean? That sounds fun, right? I want to do that. Oh yeah, I can't. Yep, there are regulations against that. I like spearfishing. I want to look into it. Hey, maybe in the summer I could go spearfishing in the lake. No, you can't. You can go fishing in the lake, but you can't go spearfishing in the lake because that's unethical for some reason. No fun allowed. You can't be crazy. And some of you are like, why would you want to go spearfishing in a lake? Good point. But I'm just thinking why not? Why can't I? That's what irks me. Because I would probably do it and I'd probably be like, this sucks. And I'd probably stop. But the fact that I can't pisses me off. It's like, am I not allowed to be a crazy person? I want to be an absolute nut job. So yeah, I want to go to South America. I want to just bicycle around. I want to get a motorcycle and just explore. I also, at some point, I want to survive in the wilderness. Bring a couple supplies and live off the land, you know, just do a survival challenge. I want to go spearfishing in Bali, Indonesia. Or, sorry, not Bali. I want to go spearfishing in Indonesia. Some of the best spearfishing in the world. I just want to, I want to do like things where I catch and cook. You know, I catch something and that's what I eat for the day. That's my dinner. That sounds fun to me, but there's no room to really do that much in America, at least where I'm from. So that's all I got to talk about today. Let me know if you guys know what I'm talking about. Here's the last thing, actually. Behavior. I feel like men these days all are afraid to just be themselves because anything we do gets scrutinized like we're toxic or something. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Like in every other country that I've been to that's not developed, that's how men act. Because that's how men act in their nature. I'm not even talking about negative things. You might think I'm talking about something really bad. No, I'm just saying men act the way men act. I can't give good examples, but messing around with their buddies, being immature, you know, making jokes. And I feel like men are constrained in America. Like we feel like the more, you know, we can't do anything even remotely controversial or edgy because it might offend somebody. And that never really mattered that much until HR came along and made it so that you can't even make a joke in your workplace. You can't even joke around in your workplace without someone getting offended at you and trying to make you lose your job. So there are real life consequences now. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. So we've turned men into this just like nothing. We've become nothing because we can't be anything anymore. We're just existing, you know? I don't know. You see it with the certain people. You meet certain people that you can tell they're very pruned and you ever see a man like get offended for somebody else? Like you say something a little bit unusual or edgy, and then all of a sudden they're looking like offended for other people because they're so, you know, scared and conditioned that they don't want to, they want to put you on the other side. I'm not part of you. I'm not part of that. I'm not you. It's weird. But anyways, if you made it to the end, I've got a kind of an announcement. I have a lot of old video vlogs from Mexico that I have not posted. I think they're pretty interesting. So let me know if you guys would like me to post those. Yeah. Anyways, have a good day, guys. Hope you're having a good one. Stay safe.